Now we step up to our next interview, Quaint Kempf. Quaint, let me shake your hand first of all, baby. We're over here at the Octagon MMA. Let me put one around you, baby, because you've just coming off a great, huge win, a KO itself. Why don't you let us know something? Well, you know what? Before we even get into that, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about you. I know this is your first time on North Texas Fisticuffs, and we want to get to know you. Quaint, you bring the action. I got the proud privilege to meet you at XKO. I think it was number 9 or 10, whatever it was. And then I saw you at an amateur event, if you remember. We were over in Addison. But anyway, I know what I know about you there. You're 4-1 right now. Of the 4 wins, you have 2 submissions, and you have 1 KO. That's a huge record coming off a great win. Tell me something about your record and the win you're recently coming off of.
I fought 2 weeks ago in Amarillo, and that was my last one. That was a knockout. I slammed the dude with a suplex, and he slammed his head on the mat and kind of went limp. So.
Oh, he slammed his head on the mat, right?
Yeah. So that one, and then my other fights, I got a submission, rear naked choke, and arm triangle, and then my first fight was a decision. So I'm pretty happy with my record. You know, I got 1 blemish on there, but I look to take care of that one day.
Well, I tell you, you know what? Before I came up here last night, I looked you up and I saw some of your YouTube fights, and they're very exciting. Which one do you think, if we had to have the viewers go YouTube you, what would be a more specific fight for them to look at that you have on YouTube?
I try not to put my fights on YouTube anymore, man. My last fight was a really good fight, and I took it to him and just nonstop first round. Other than that, I have a lot of amateur fights on YouTube. There's a good one. Joey Utton and me is a 3-round battle. It's all stand-up. It's a good fight.
Okay, let me spell that name for you. It's Quaint Kempf. Is that correct, Quaint?
That's it.
Oh, I even did that without talking to him, baby. I tell you what, I love these fighters. Now, let's talk about your action that's coming up. It's going to be on Shark Fights. It's going to be in Frisco. It's going to be Shark Fights 17. It's already slated for July the 15th, and it's at the Dr. Pepper Center. And if I remember correctly, Sean, is it starting at 7 o'clock or? 7 o'clock. A little shout-out to Sean Malone out here, always the man behind the camera. But, Quaint, tell me about the guy you're going to be jumping in the cage with.
His name is Victor Hernandez. He fights out of Odessa. He's a tough dude. He's kind of a brawler. But mixes up good with his stand-up, his punches and kicks. So I'm not gonna worry about his game plan. I'm just going in. I'm gonna do mine. And I'm gonna take it to him and just break his will before he has a chance to do anything.
Well, let me ask you right now, what do you think your specialty is coming into the cage? And again, Quaint, if it's a question that none need to be answered, hey, just tell me that. You know, all I'm trying to do is get some fight fan information. You said he comes in hard, he comes in fast. What is it going to take to get a W and walk out a winner after meeting up with Mr. Victor Hernandez?
I think I have advantage with most of my fights because I'm a big 45er. I'm athletic, and I just, I want to go in and I take care of business really fast and just take it to him. And a lot of guys that shocks them right at the beginning. They it breaks their will and they give you a submission or they get out of there. They want out. So that's my goal. I try to make people want to get out of the cage.
You couldn't have said it anymore. That's what it is, walking out a W. I don't care how you get it. In any sport that you're at, you want to walk out a winner. Hey, I know we were talking briefly. You've got a wife. You've got a son. How about a special shout-out? Because these are the people that got to be the pillar of support for an MMA fighter when they climb into the cage. I mean, a dangerous sport. How about a little shout-out?
Man, those two people right there is who I fight for. It's my son and my wife, My son thinks, he thinks I'm the world. He thinks I'm his hero. So, I go in there and I fight and I try to win for him because, I want to be that hero and that idol to him. And then my wife, she stands by me. She's my #1 supporter. There's days when you don't want to go train. You're tired. You're just beat up. You're hurting. You're just like, And she's like, get up, go. You got to do it. You got to do it.
You got to love her, right?
Man, I love her so much.
Oh, man, that's beautiful. I love it. I love it when these warriors get in there, they are beasts in the cage. But when it comes to their family, baby, they have a soft heart. As we start wrapping this one up, Quaint, how about any special shout-outs to anybody else outside of your family?
Yeah, well, I have my aunt and uncle who helped support me with my fighting, and without them, I wouldn't have the funds to be able to come here and fight every day. and do what I do. So a big shout out to my aunt and uncle.
Well, why don't you go? Yeah, go ahead and. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Give us their names.
It's Misty and Jeff Jones. They're out of Ennis, Texas, and they support me 100%. And a shout out to some of my sponsors. I've got some deer ranch sponsors that are coming out. That's going to be BJ Brown, Trophy Whitetails. It's going to be High Roller Whitetails and Madeira Bonita Deer Ranch and Drop J Deer Ranch. So they're going to come out and watch me fight for the first time, and I'm going to be sporting their logos on my shorts. So big shout out to them.
I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you got to love these warriors. As we end this interview, it's been another pleasure. I put my arm around these guys with my notes. Thank you so much. We wish you the best of luck. We hope you come out with a W. Let me shake your hand one more time, Quaint, and you stay tuned for our next interview.